This is my third attempt at going live. So hi. I'm gonna be consistent and persistent in this. So hi everyone. My name is Mom of Taj with Taj Things, TajThings.com. Make sure that before you do anything and before we continue this live, or if you see it later, make sure that you subscribe and comment. Chat with me. I chat back. I'm nice, you know. Let's make it happen. Let's talk to each other. Let's get this thing popping. So if you guys don't know and if you guys don't follow me, I am a content creator. I've been a content creator for 1 year now. Sometime within this month, it'll make 1 year. I don't know exactly when, but last year is when I started. I started making content to be more relatable, to kind of build, some type of community for people who, may have similar upbringing, similar backgrounds, similar journeys as I do. So I am a mom of two, which I have two boys and they're toddlers. So I have a 2-year-old who he turns 3 next month, and a 4-year-old. So they're about 17 months apart, a year and a half almost exactly. And that's kind of how I started my content journey. So I kind of wanted to I actually let me stop bumping my gums. I used to love, and I still do it, I love YouTube when it first came out, and I always used to wish that I could do it. And I just used to be so fearful though. That's the thing that kept me from doing it, because I used to be like, oh, my hair not right, my weight not right, I don't have nothing to wear. Because even in the beginning times, maybe not to the same degree, but I used to feel like the people who were doing it, they looked so good doing it. And I always used to say, I want to do it. And just like even now, I still felt like I don't have nothing to talk about. What am I going to show them? Because clearly I wasn't going to be vulnerable and really show me. I wasn't going to be vulnerable and show me. So like, what could I actually show? Because at that time, people were doing like hair, they were doing fashion, and different stuff like that. Oh, and it was real big with like couples. Couples used to be like really the it thing, and that's why I used to watch the most when I was like in college, and when I kind of first started my career, like the little couple challenges, like get to know us, like the little questions and stuff like that. And I used to be like, oh man, I can't wait till I have a family. Really at that time, I was like a boyfriend, so that I could do those kind of videos. And I just used to have it all planned out. And I made a potato salad, y'all. So I used to always be like, oh, I can't wait until I'm able to do that, blah, blah, blah. And even when I kind of, started to get to a place where I could probably make content, I still wasn't making it, because I said, oh, well, I'm going to record my pregnancy journey, which at this time I was pregnant with one child. Now, at that time, I didn't really know content worked the way that it works. Meaning like, you have to have an audience, or you're building an audience, and like the things that it takes for your video to be seen. I just thought that people were just making videos and, just some kind of way people were watching. So I started to want to record my pregnancy, and didn't do that because at that time I was like working. Then I didn't really like where I was working, and it was just a lot. And another big thing that I didn't know, I really didn't know like the editing and stuff of it all. And so, although they had like videos, it just seemed so intimidating. So I didn't do it. Then after that, Fast forward, I filmed when I found out that I was having my second child, which was a unexpected pregnancy. And so, I was real distraught over that. And so I thought that this was going to be, me really filming and starting to get into it. Still didn't do it after that. I had plans to do like weight loss and still didn't do it after that. So I kind of got into the situation where I had to help my dad with his business. And so I kind of, became interested in learning how to, kind of help and make his stuff go viral, sort of say, or just, promote it really. And so that's when I just kind of started learning it. And then I used to see like the kids doing the videos with their parents. And then my kid, he was pretty smart. So I used to be like, he could do that. And so the Inky Boys, that was really one of the first videos that I had saw. I was like, man, we could do it. So now, before I get into that, I'm gonna go back and say this. Contrary to me seeing the Inky Boys and me learning all that I learned about social media through me starting with my father, I did not think kids should be on the internet. There, I said it. Now I'm gonna come back. I used to be like, people are exploiting their kids. Ooh. People are exploiting their kids. Like, these kids are being put on the internet, and nobody, they probably taking their money, and not even like on a serious note saying people taking their money, but just, thinking of like these kids kind of, working for their families or whatever, because they would be creating content, and of course, people getting paid for it. So I used to be like, no, that is not going to be me. And that was a big thing in me, not creating content, because I knew I wanted to do it with my kids, sort of say. And the reason that is, just a transparent moment, is because I was not confident in myself to be in front of the camera. So I wanted them to kind of like be the cute little kids that distract people from me, not being able to see me with my weight gain and all that kind of stuff. So what ended up happening was I used to kind of like be like, no, I didn't want my kids to be in front of the camera. Like even with having a personal social media, I didn't put them on there very much at all, because I know that people steal your pictures, and people, they kind of do mean-spirited things. And so that just never was the direction that I thought about going. And that's why I never truly dabbled into it, because I wasn't confident. Even though I would do the videos here and there, I didn't never want them to be a part of it. So I didn't really know how to navigate getting into it without bringing them along. So fast forward, I ended up having to help my dad with his business. And so I started to learn about social media and what exactly it was. And I just fell in love. Like, it was more than what I thought it was. Like, people were creating businesses, changing their family lives. Like, at the end of the day, it's really a business. And when you start to think about it, it's the exact thing as it's the exact same thing as your child being a kid actor, or a kid model or whatever, because what happens is everything that you create on the internet, it's called content. So whenever you go on a platform such as Netflix or Hulu or whatever, all that is paid content, and you are the consumer. So I started to change my mindset about it. And so once I started to really understand how it works, I wasn't so judgmental of the people that were doing it. More like, man, these people, they get it. Like, they're able to take their kids' lives and possibly transform. And I used to be like, you know, they're probably taking their kids' money. And then the thing about it is, once I realized it in me doing the work, I'm like, even if the kid is the talent, meaning the person that's in front of the camera, these parents are doing a lot of the work or hiring the people to do the work. So, like me, myself, I come up with the concepts of what's being recorded. I come out with what's gonna take place, how it's happening, like directing it, everything. So now I understand that even if these people are, you know, like the parents are getting the money or whatever, it's like they're earning it, trust me, because it's a lot of work that goes into it. So fast forward it, give me 1 second. So fast forward, I see this video and I'm like, hey, you know, me and my kid could do it now. At this time, I'm very insecure with getting in front of the camera because I'm like, you know, I want to look this way. I don't want, you know, some old people, like people I know in my past, I don't want them to, you know, think I look this way and I, you know, just thinking about all the wrong things because at the end of the day, it really don't matter. Like there's nobody in my past that I care about that much that I wouldn't want or that I cared enough to know what they thought about how I looked, how, you know, how anything was going with me, really and truly. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Mommy,
What?
may I just have some grapes?
Yeah.
Grapes.
Go to grapes.
Good, good. It's not good. Listen, we don't need a whole thing.
Just take some. So, you know, once I really started to realize that, well, before I realized that, you know, I was trying to push my kids in front of the camera. I'm like, you know, we could do this cute kid thing because I saw the Inky Boys and let him, you know, let them just be like the front of all of our content. So my kid, he didn't really, he didn't always want to do it. Like the way that the algorithm works, it requires you to do it a whole lot. And so he didn't want to always necessarily record these videos.
Where's my bowl?
What ball?
Just it. Can I see your bowl?
What is that?
My cup. Okay.
Here, let me give you a cup. That's why y'all need to keep up with y'all own stuff. Here. Here, you go do it.
Okay.
And he didn't want to work as much as the algorithm required. So I was like, man, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it. And so I was like, I can't depend on my child to do what I want because what if he really doesn't want to do it? Like at this time, he enjoyed doing it, but still not to the like for fun. Me, I'm trying to turn it into a business. So because I'm trying to turn it into a business, I know that it requires a whole lot more. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna force him and I'm not gonna push him because I'm gonna become what I thought people were doing to their kids, making them record these videos and the kids probably really didn't want to, or, you know, take the fun out of it. Because ultimately I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be funny. I wanted it to be something that, what?
I'm trying to put my top.
Well, why you gotta whine to do that? If you need help, you need to ask for help. So, I didn't want to take the fun out of it. So I'm like, okay, You gotta get yourself together. This is now mindset training to where I'm talking to myself like, what is wrong with you that you feel like you can't get in front of these people? Who is making you feel this way? Meaning, like, what people of the past am I so concerned about? Like, who I don't want to see me? Like, because that used to always be the thing. Like, even when I was dating, you know, my husband at the time or whatever, it's like, oh no, I don't want these people to know, get in my business and blah, blah, blah. Like, when I started to take all of that off the table, it's like you could do this. And like at the time, like I had started to experience a whole lot of hair loss because I was postpartum still. And so my hair used to be an issue for me. And I'm like, I can't get in front of these people with my hair looking like this. So I started wearing like the wigs, and the wigs was just, working in opposite direction. So I'm like, okay, despite the hair, despite the weight, like what else is stopping you? Because all that could be changed, and all that could be a part of the content, because you know what it takes to create content, and like everything you can record is just a journey. So got over there. I came up with a plan and executed. And so I just started. And once I started, like, I just really, really liked it. It was fun. And when I think about the possibilities, it just excites me because I'm like, man, I really could possibly do this. Now, there's some instances where it's like, you don't always want to do it because of the politics. And when I say the politics, meaning with everything that you do, there's a structure to it, and there's a way that is already being done, and that you have to get into the groove of, which in this case is the algorithm. It's the people who've already been doing it. It's the way that things have to be done. It's the building blocks. It's all of those things that in my world, I'm calling it politics, that you have to play a part of. And that's what kind of gets frustrating. But despite it all, it's really, really fun. And that's how I got to this moment of being here 1 year and not quitting. And that's always been a part of my story, a part of my journey, is like quitting. And I didn't want that to be this. I wanted this to be different because I know it can be different. I know the possibilities, and a lot of people don't understand because they haven't done the research like I've done, and they haven't they just look at it as being on the internet, but there's so much more to that, I promise you. And throughout my journey, you know I just wanted to encourage you all, after giving you the background and knowing kind of like, where I've been in my story with it, is to keep going or just to start. Because really, that's going to be what it takes in order to get to where you're trying to go. And although you may not want to share your life, because there's not always everything that I want to share because of other people, or because of my platform that I'm creating at this time, or whatever. You can share as much or as little as you want to share. And for some people, content may not be the thing that you need encouraged doing. It may be getting out there to date. It may be getting out there to start applying for jobs. Whatever it is, just start it and do it. Because in order to be a winner in this season, you have to play the game. And playing the game, you can't have excuses like I did. Like, I could be so much further, and I say this every time, I'm just freestyling in my thought. I could be so much further along if I wouldn't have let the fears and the doubts get a hold of me. And it's always a regret. But the space that I'm in now, and what I know, it probably built me to be more prepared at this point in time. Because, like, if I wouldn't have taken the time to really think about it and to learn it, I wouldn't know, that sometimes people, they comment just to be seen, or, sometimes people make you feel bad, or they judge you because of their insecurities and things that they're doing or not doing. And so, even when I first started and knowing that, I used to take offense because like my thing used to be like, why they think I'm a bad mom? Or like, because I would post something and they wouldn't agree and they would have all these negative comments and stuff. And, over time, and as you hear more and more creators talk about it too, and even celebrities for that matter, you start to realize like you can't concern yourself with that. And if you're not prepared, then it could really knock you off your block. And it could really keep you from winning the overall prize. And for some people, this can be a job or it could be fun, whatever you want it to be. But in whatever case, make it be what you want, because nobody really can tell you what to do or what not to do but you. So in this season, what are you doing to win? How are you preparing yourself? What circles are you eliminating in order to reach, your full potential? What circles are you willing to get into in order to reach your full potential? Because that's the thing too. Like, I would consider myself an introvert. I don't like a lot of people. I don't really, you know, if I meet you and we start to talk and it grows organically, like you found you a friend for life. But I'm never just the type to just walk up to somebody and just, it just depends. But normally, like 8 times out of 10, I'm just not. And so me being in this this arena now requires me to get outside of my comfort zone, because now I'm reaching out to people like, hey, do you want to collaborate? Or hey, are you willing to post my content, blah blah blah, whatever. So it forces you to then get into some circles that you may not have necessarily thought of or seen yourself doing. And nothing against your morals, nothing against your who you are as a person that will violate that. I'm just saying in general, what circles are you willing to step into in order to walk into your winning season? What sacrifices are you willing to make? Like me doing this, I do realize that it's going to take some time away from my kids, right? Because it requires me to be less present. And that's something that I don't like. However, it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make to a certain degree in order to do this, because I can see the potential and I know the success that it can bring in the future that it can create. Because that's the thing, when you think about life, and especially as a parent or someone who takes care of someone, you have to look beyond yourself and the things that you're doing. How is that going to impact or change the people who's coming up behind you? Because who you are, you're just leaving little dust and little footprints for other people to follow. So I've always said this in some of my videos and stuff, like I don't want my kids to be afraid of stepping out there and connecting, or be afraid of their own potential and not go for the things that they want to go for, because I can see some of those traits in them, and that's not who I want them to be. So what do I have to do? I have to get out there and show them, hey, you do have to connect with people, you do need to talk, you do need to get out of your comfort zone, because the more you stay in your comfort zone, the more you're willing to sacrifice not growing into who you're meant to be. So start to think about some of those things. Like I said, like I'm making potato salad, y'all. So I have to taste it. So I got me a spoon to taste. So you have to, man, you have to think about it. You have to figure out how you what are you gonna do to get to that next level? And what are you gonna do to change your circumstances and the circumstances of those, who are dependent on you? Because, although, you know, I want to, I want to have kids who are proud of me, but I want to be proud of myself. The fact that I did it, the fact that I thought about it and I could. And I think that I'm always so wanting to be instantly gratified that this is very hard for me because it's taking me longer than I thought it probably would. But it's like greatness don't happen overnight, right? What great just stepped on the football field without practicing, without showing up and being a team player, without going through the trials and tribulation. Like, you can't be great. You have to learn through the mistakes and you have to learn through the process. And although people say it a lot, it really is true. Like, there's a process to becoming great. There's things that you learn in your failures. There's things that you learn, whenever you don't get it right or you don't know. It pushes you to a new height because now you've experienced something that causes you to have to learn and become better in art so that you could eliminate that mistake, then embrace yourself for the next mistake because it's going to happen. That next mistake is going to require you to find something else to change. And being able to adapt is one of the hardest things that, people who don't like change face. And that was me. And, I got tired of living in that life of like not wanting change to happen because it's inevitable. Change is going to happen, and you have to just be ready to take that next step in whatever life brings you. And so I want to live my life out loud and show people that, it's possible. I want to build a community to show people you are not alone. It really takes a village. It really takes a community to stand behind and support people and what they're doing and who they want to become. And to be greater. So if there's anybody who need like accountability partners, who want to go into this journey with me as I continue to learn and elevate, because I've been doing things, but I need to continue to push myself to do greater. Like, not just doing the one man, skit, create diversity. Whenever things require my kids to come in, my family to come in, allow them to, do things to open and expand, what it is that I'm showing. So my journey is going to be forever evolving. And so I want you guys to come along and see what it is that you can relate to, see what it is that we could support each other in. Because, what we have in terms of these platforms is really, really great ways for people to connect who may have never, been a part of the same, circle or distance to become better at who they are or what they were meaning to do. Poured too much parsley, and so now I end up having to mix it. So now it look like mashed potatoes, but not really, but kind of, because of all the parsley. But I'm gonna push you guys. I'm gonna push myself, and even the things that I'm not so good at, I'm gonna get better. Like, I'm not good at vlogging, but I want to get better because that's the way that you guys are gonna see what I have going on, and build and connect with me. And that's what my ultimate goal is. So I hope that this live, was helpful in getting to know who I am and, what I'm trying to do in terms of build a community and who I'm trying to connect with, and how I'm actually trying to, motivate others to do what it is that you're purposed to do. So I'm going to finish cooking. If there's anything else that, I might want to get on here for, I'll definitely get on just to chit chat. So be prepared to see more of me. Get prepared to tap that subscribe button. Get prepared to ride along with me on the journey. Thank you, and talk to you later.